Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
All right, it's the final week 8 of the Childcare Genius podcast, 8 Pillars of Leverage series, and we're going to talk a little bit about diversification. This has just been a short, quickie series, quick episodes, talking a little bit on different training topics. And we're going to talk a little about diversification. So eggs, basket, all in one. Very dangerous, right? To keep all your eggs in one basket.
Especially childcare. You can have an incident happen that completely destroys your business.
Good. Or the government can come in.
Or the government can come in.
The factory can close down in your market, and all of a sudden we lose all your kids. The state could change their subsidy rules. There's so many different things. They can grab public PK, lose all your kids. They could do what Canada did and not allow you to raise tuition more than 3% a year. That would be devastating. In this economy with inflation at 10%, you want to be able to raise your tuition. Imagine if you could only raise your tuition 3%, it'd be horrible. But anyway, you want to make sure that you cannot have all your eggs in one basket. So one thing that Carol and I have done is we've diversified in businesses, we've diversified into other areas, and we've also diversified with multiple locations. Now let's talk about expansion first. We've opened a lot of schools, and we've actually closed a couple schools that just were in bad markets. And we figure that if a center is not making a 6-figure profit, it's not worth putting our time in. And so we have to, our time is money. And we had centers that just weren't making enough money for the amount of work that it was needed in there and the amount of risk that you have, because there's risk in each location. So if it's not making enough, we just closed it. But the secret was we should have done market research to know that in the beginning. We centers.
We didn't know.
We didn't know.
We didn't know anything about that.
So that's a learning experience. So what if your center is not doing very well? You might be in that wrong market. So diversification and putting multiple centers in different markets and different areas, it spreads the risk out. And I have one client who's got 6 locations. 5 of them are killing it. 1 location we're struggling in. What if they only had 1 location and that was the 1 location they were struggling in? By having 6, they're able to diversify and spread that risk out amongst the 6. So they're doing great overall when they're only having 1 bad. Another thing is look for other revenue streams. Rent your building out on the weekends, nights, things like that, where you can have other money coming in that is other income coming in. Mm-hmm. What about other businesses? If you have other passive income businesses that you can start or pivot off of. We have one client who has a coffee shop inside their childcare center attached to it, where they have a coffee window and people drive up, walk up, get coffee, and they make a little bit of money. That the money they use, they buy playground equipment with. Yeah. So they found a way to diversify. Very smart. And they have their own brand of coffee. Pretty cool. And if barista comes in, I say use your daycare workers. When they're overstaffed, they become a barista. Put an apron on. Make me some coffee. And I would like that. You know why? They get me coffee. Well, okay, leadership, high-road leadership, I probably have to go learn, right? Yeah. All right. But anyway, another thing is real estate is something that Carol and I have diversified in heavily. You could either go on the stock market or real estate. We like real estate because we could leverage OPM or other people's money. And we've made millions in real estate and really protected our wealth, grown it significantly through COVID and outside of COVID. And saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes, which we turn around and put right back in to buy more properties. So the tax code is written for people who own real estate. You look at a lot of these big real estate billionaires, they know how to use the tax code. So they pay very little in taxes, and they're all doing it legally. And now I'd say don't pay any more. I'll pay my fair share, but not a penny more. And I'm going to use the tax code to my advantage. And real estate is one way that you could use that to your advantage. So it's something that we teach inside Child Care Genius University. All of our coaching clients get advice on real estate. We personally coach and help them out. We also teach some of this at our conferences. So we teach this in at our conference, a leverage conference in the fall. We're going to be in Cancun next year, and our Jamaica conference. We teach a little bit about it there. So we just say it's good. We like multifamily apartments. We have some clients do Airbnb. We have some clients do single family. I'm just saying
some that do commercial.
Some just commercial. Exactly. We like that. We don't really like the shared ones where you buy with other people. The returns on those are just not as good as you can get on your own, but that works for some people as well. I forget what those things are called.
They're lower risk. So it depends on what you.
Yeah, it's higher tax ramifications for those because those sell 100% of the time. And you're going to have a tax liability. Carol and I have a never sell philosophy. So we have no tax liability because our kid's going to inherit our properties tax free. And there's a way to do that. And we teach that.
Do your research and see what works for you.
See what works for you. Some people, it might be the stock market. But you definitely need to have that risk diversified. Real estate is something that works for us. And we teach that as a way to spread your risk out with your child care centers a lot. So we hope we've given you some ideas as 2024 comes to a close. This is episode 150 episodes of the Child Care Genius podcast. When we first started out, can you believe we've done 150 episodes already? We're just so excited and so blessed to have you as listeners and followers of our podcast. So many people tell us that they get enjoyment out of this, and we teach them things, and we hope that we've done you right. 2025 is going to be a great year. We are going to probably change some things on our podcast. We're going to have some new guests, some exciting guests, and we're probably going to change things up a little bit because the only thing constant in the world is change, and we're going to make sure that we have something that you want to keep listening to and following for years to come. And you can always send us suggestions of what you'd like to see on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Brian at childcaregenius.com. I would love to hear what you want as an episode. And you think you'd be a good guest on our podcast? Let us know. But you better own a child care center. I'm not going to put you on if you're a celebrity.
Or have something to do with
the child care business.
Something that can help.
That could bring value to a child care center. If you happen to own a business, you're listening in, and you think you could bring value, reach out to me. I'll consider putting you on for sure. So as we sign off 2024, I want to say 2020, sign off 2024. And as we bring in the new year, we want to say thank you again. We hope you set your goals for 2025. And we know that you're going to have an amazing year. We hope you keep following us. We hope to see you at our Las Vegas Child Care Genius Conference in Las Vegas, April 14th, 15th, and 16th, where Carol and I are going to be hosting over 500 people at our Child Care Genius Conference. And hotel rooms only $75 a night plus resort fee. I mean, how great is that? What a great room block. So we hope to see you there. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. And we will see you soon. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. Before we go today, we want to remind you that tickets are still on sale. We have not sold out yet for our Child Care Genius live conference in Las Vegas, April 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Golden Nugget. That is in downtown Las Vegas. And tickets are on sale right now at childcaregenius.com. And we're excited to have you there. We're going to have over 500 exciting childcare owners and directors. There's 2 different experiences, one for owners in one room and one for directors in a completely different room. And it's the most advanced childcare conference in the world. You excited, Carol?
I am. It's going to be a great conference.
Yeah, we did it last year. We had over 300 last year. We're going to have over 500 this year, and it's going to be amazing. We had secured ticket room prices. We secured $75 room rate plus resort fee and tax, but that's an unheard of to go to a conference. Childcare conference, want to have to pay $75 plus resort fee and tax for a room. You can afford to bring your whole team at that price. Absolutely. And of course, it's cheap to eat in Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
Some of these hotels you go to in, big cities like New York or Chicago, and they're paying $12 for a hamburger and, and $8 for a cup of coffee because you're stuck there. You can't go anywhere else. And here you got, the Vegas
Steak and
downtown.
shake.
Things are cheap. Yeah, steak and
shake burger.
$4.99 for a steak and shake burger and fries. You can eat cheaply, and or you can eat expensive too. There's some nice restaurants.
Really good steak houses.
But it's definitely much more affordable than going to most childcare conferences. And Vegas is fun.
It is fun.
And they have a good time. So we hope you'll consider coming to the most advanced childcare conference in the world. Every speaker is in the childcare industry. We don't put celebrities on who can't teach you how to do payroll in a childcare center. They might sell a few books, but we don't do that. We just put people on stage that have done what you wanted to do. And totally different than most childcare conferences. And Carol and I can't wait to meet you, and we'd love to have you there. So go to childcaregenius.com, go under the conference tab, and select Childcare Genius Live, and go ahead and get your tickets today. Book your rooms. This will sell out, and we're excited to say that. So this concludes this episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you next week. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Childcare Genius podcast.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.